Do you still practice the drums sometimes, or is it something that you
not as much as I'd like to? I don't really get a chance as much anymore. But yeah, I used to play quite a lot.
I did. You used to have a tiny bedroom, and it was literally just a drum kit in a bed, and you had to kind of climb over them. But yeah, you don't really play too much now.
Nah.
But you just said you're not now more or less on the same wavelength when it comes to musical sense. Is this something that you had to work on, or did it develop naturally?
Yeah, I think it's just naturally, like, you get more comfortable with each other, and, you know, friendships build and stuff, and then you just kind of get to know each other a bit more, and, you know, the communication within, like, the songwriting and stuff is a lot better.
Even when you know each other, to know each other in a kind of writing sense is different. I don't know, it's just different to hanging out in normal lives, having people in control and having different ideas and stuff. But because we'd met at shows, so we had similar tastes in the music. So it wasn't like we were bringing two conflicting ideas to the table. You know, the same ideas were there. So yeah, it was natural, but it didn't take us too long because, you know, we were into the same ideas already.
But how is it for you when you start out as a group of friends playing music, and now at some point it gets maybe bigger than you expected at the first moment? But did that influence you at some point, or was it that you had to maybe stop and think for a while, this is getting now a little bit more serious than it used to, or did you just always take it as a group of friends?
I think we always took it pretty seriously. Like, we always wanted to make something of it, and like, we've always worked really hard on it, so it was like, we didn't, like, as soon as like we started to get places and started touring a lot more, we didn't really have to change anything, because we was kind of, it was what we were waiting for all along, really. So we've kind of prepared ourselves for it, and it's always just how we've wanted it to go. Because
how was your life before you first started doing shows abroad? Did you all have jobs, or were you at school, or how does it?
Not really. Yeah, Alfie was in school until, like, because Alfie's slightly younger than us. So when we started touring, Alfie was still in school, and he had to, like, take time out, and sometimes he had to take time out of shows if he had exams and stuff that he couldn't miss. Then he'd have to miss shows. So. But then none of us, like, did college or anything. We just kind of stuck with the band and did that full time. That's what we've been doing for like over 2 years now. So.
But were your parents supportive? I mean, did they never ask you for, hey, maybe if this doesn't work out? Because you have to be really sure if you.
They're always a bit like, yeah, they've always been supportive, but obviously parents always kind of look at it more realistically as well, and like, oh, you have to have a backup, and, you know, you can't do this forever and stuff.
Yeah, that's the main.
At the same time, they were really supportive, and they could see that we were working really hard at it. And now definitely, like, it seems to be paying off.
Yeah,
so.
They find it easier now because there's a lot of things that they can relate, they can understand, you know, when we get played on the radio and stuff, they can understand it's going places. Whereas when we were starting out, they didn't know if we were doing well or not.
Did you have a backup back then, at the moment?
I did, because I took a year out. I was planning on going to university, and I took a year out to start a band and to, you know, try and travel and things. And then I've just always wanted to pursue the bands. Every year I was like, I just want to see where this goes. And so now, obviously, it's got to the point where, you know, I have no intention of going to university anytime soon. But for the first year, I was just like, I just want to see where this goes, you know. And then I had such a great year. I wanted to do a second year of it. It's like, let's just see where it goes. So that was, I guess, my backup. But I figure, like, my dad just did a university course at home, so, you know, I could be in a band until I'm 50 and then still do a university course in.
Start law studies. So, what was your backup, if I may ask? If you had one?
No, I didn't really have one. I wanted to be a part of the music industry. So I guess if I couldn't be in a band, I'd, like, you know, like, work for a label or like a management company or something. I'd always, like, stay within the music industry. I never wanted to veer away from that, really.